Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is July 19th and I am going to do a July garden tour for you guys. So we are gardening here in zone 6 and it's a really sunny, bright day, so I hope this looks really well, but the amount of time that comes along to do whole garden tours is very slim, so I try and squeeze them in when I can. So we're just going to go through and give you guys an update on how everything's doing, how everything's growing, some of the pest stuff that I've had to deal with, and how I've taken care of it, and some of the things that are new, some of the things that I've learned, just a whole bunch of stuff. So let's jump right on in and start here at my smaller raised bed garden area where I have some perennials and onions and just some different things. So here we go. Right here are Walla Walla onions, which are actually starting to bulb up now. So you can see down in there, which it took them forever. I don't know. I did put compost on them between the last garden tour and now, and that seemed to help them grow quite substantially. Here I have two volunteer, I think they're cherry tomatoes. I just let them go because I kind of wanted to see what kind they were. They kept on popping up in the onion bed, which I did have cherry tomatoes in there last year. So I'm just kind of curious. They have flowers, you know, setting all over. Oh, here's actually a little bit. Some fruits growing. So we're just going to see what those are. And then here I actually have milkweed. There's two different varieties. Here you can see the different leaf structure of this one versus these. These are actually perennials. They'll come back every year. So I'm hoping this bed just fills in with beautiful butterfly, bee, hummingbird attractant flowers. Really excited to see those bloom. There's some color coming in on that one. And over here I have my asparagus, which the front ones are doing really well, but the ones back underneath the parsley is not doing so great. But it goes really hard to cut all the flowers off because there's a bunch of bees and stuff all over that stuff every day. Here I have cilantro that went to flower. I didn't think it actually came up, so I was kind of surprised to see it, and I just kind of let it go and let it do its thing. This is parsley. It's all in flower. Huge. Needs to be cut back. These are my German butterball potatoes. I already tore out the red, and then this area is going to be amended to do fall planting. I'm going to have to add some more compost and some soil just to fill the level back up and add some nutrition back in it, but I was gonna let these go until they, you know, start looking more like that, kind of dead out. I wanted to harvest the red potatoes smaller because I like those smaller sized. These are strawberries. They're actually starting to set fruit again. There was kind of a lull for a couple weeks that we didn't have fruit or any flowers, which I was actually watching a video that said you should actually cut all the flowers off until the end of June, beginning of July, of ever-bearing strawberries to help them set more leaf growth. So I'm going to do that next year and see if we can avoid the skipping of the harvest and see if it'll just keep producing, you know, throughout the rest of the season then next year. So, but yeah, here we have some berries again. Lots of flowers popping up in there. That's exciting because Viviana loves strawberries, so excited to have those again. Here I put some cosmos in. You can actually see little seedlings here. Just some more different flowers to attract some pollinators, but I'm gonna go in front of the house over here. My volunteer sunflowers that I just decided to let them go. Back there is some purple echinacea that I started from seed. It's growing really slow, which I guess those do grow really slow, but my really big sunflower right here. And then I have my lilies, which look amazing. This year is the second year, so I planted from bulb last year, and they have put on a lot of growth. They look super stunning. I really like the ones with the very bright white lines. Here's another one. Really beautiful. Yeah, so we have some more sunflowers. Decided once these bloom, I'm gonna cut them for bouquets, and then I can take the sunflowers out to make sure the lilies get all of the sunshine they need. Here I have, it's called a Mexican sunflower, and there's a beautiful black butterfly on it this morning. Now there's a little orange one. Really, really good butterfly attracting flower, I have noticed. The roses are doing well. They started pushing out another set of blooms, which I should fertilize these now that they have done that, but we'll see. That is a Mexican sunflower, and then I have a mum right here, and some phlox grasses. Pretty sure this is a pumpkin plant. I decided it wants to grow here, so we're gonna see what it actually does. And just all of my pots. All of my pots in front of the house here. Putting on a lot of growth. This is a really cool flower. We're gonna whip over here. I have lots of petunias that have put on a lot of growth. They're starting to intermingle their colors, which I like to see. And then this is a peony plant, which is done, obviously. I'm actually surprised we got blooms this year, because this was the second year that I had it planted. And then I have some bachelor's button flowers in there, which I actually wish I would have planted more. I'm not listening to the spacing that the seed packets say anymore. Here I just have a little pot that I just plopped in the flower bed. It has dianthus, which needs to be cut back, and then some snapdragons and some lemon coral sedum. Down here I have some more dianthus, which this is a perennial. It'll fill in that area. And then over here, these bachelor buttons I actually started, I put seed directly into the ground. They're really cute, just little pretty little flowers. Then I have some volunteer zinnias, and then I decided I'm going to plant more zinnias in the back in between the bee balm. So the bee balm I actually started from seed inside, moved it out, took really long to start blooming, but it's starting to put some blooms on, which is really exciting to see. Another volunteer pumpkin, I'm assuming. Some more bachelor's button back there. And let's go down here, some more bee balm. You can actually see a little bit more of the colors. So this is supposed to be a really great attractant for pollinators, so I'm really excited to see what those look like when they're fully bloomed. And here is the same pot that's over there. Love this sedum. It's so beautiful. I actually thought about doing this or the sweet potato vines to do on that wall and let them kind of trail down. So that's a project for next year. Bunch of zinnia seeds which need to be watered again, and then I have some sedum, another peony plant, and then there's a row of lavender right up against the wall. This flower, I'm actually not sure what it's called. It was given to us by someone that we did tree service for. Really, really cool looking flower. Alrighty, we're gonna cover the pots here. Go down our stairs. They're looking crazy. So the linaria back here I actually started from seed, and I'm pretty sure I put it too close together, but there's these tiny little flowers on them. And then all of the other ones I bought the seed, or I bought the starts of it, and these vines are just going crazy. Climbing down, you can't even see the pot anymore. Viviana likes to pick off these little blooms, so I'm actually surprised there's still some on here. I thought the linaria is going to stand up a little bit more, and it just is not really doing what I wanted it to. So really liking the vines though. Those are real pretty. This one's huge as well. The Gomphrena should get pretty big yet. Really take in the middle of this pot. There's a white version. I think this plant and the Gomphrena would look really pretty with like another super large white flower. And then I have some vines, the sweet potato vines. Out of that pot, it actually grew up these little flags in our flower bed area here. Then yeah, like I said, I have the lavender that goes up along the front. And then I'm gonna swing over here, my shade garden. I'm calling it a shade garden because it gets like, well, the far side gets maybe 3 or 4 hours of sunlight. Lots of hosta. I actually planted some hosta here last month. This pot is doing phenomenal. It has grown in a lot. I did coleus and caladiums. Coleus really took off. It was a lot smaller than this. It's looking wonderful. Just a good shade area pot. Some more hosta. This is the hydrangea, the mountain hydrangea, tough stuff. I'm actually going to do another one and plant it here. Then I actually have some ostrich ferns, which do really well in shaded areas that are on our hill and they just get way too much sun. I'm actually going to line the back of this up against the wooded area and kind of make like a distinct path that opens up. And I'm going to put those ferns down here this fall. So I'm really excited to do that and move them down here so that they don't suffer and die every year in the summertime. And then up here I have some heuchera, and these blooms are pretty much done. So when they're done, you can kind of just pop them out like that. These hydrangea have been eaten like every year by deer. So I finally decided I'm going to try really, really hard to keep them sprayed so that the deer leave them alone. And they actually got some blooms this year, which excited me. Really, really pretty. Pixel, what are you doing? The dianthus needs to be cut back again. This hydrangea hasn't had a bloom yet, so I'm kind of curious to see if that one will actually make it. Have some rudbeckia. That is a perennial and it's going to come up every year. Then I thought it was really cute. I have some little volunteer sunflowers. They're just like little baby ones. And then petunias, this milkweed. I wasn't sure if it's actually going to come back. It did. Not sure if I'm going to leave it, but we'll see. This rose right here, I'm going to cut this off because it shouldn't have done that. But some more dianthus up here. Another little sunflower. These are my rhododendrons. This one, I actually think I killed some of it because I was tearing the plastic out, the landscape plastic, and I think I tore some of its roots out. So that's what the brown situation is in there. This is the purple echinacea coneflower that I started from seed as well earlier this winter and moved it outside. Super slow growing. I have taken. It's really starting to put on some growth. I'll be surprised if it puts on any blooms this year, which is fine. I want it to really establish itself. So, and then we have some roses. These, which here's a lot of blooms. I feel like these would have done better if I would have given them some fertilizer before they started blooming the second round. I think this sunflower's kind of spent. And then I have a lily down here. The dogs got into these bulbs and I'm actually surprised that one actually made it. But here's another little sunflower. Little bumblebee. Hello, buddy. Some more rudbeckia back there. I have a mum that I kept from last fall. Replanted it. Ooh, hello, beautiful. Wow, so pretty. Wow. And here I have some lavender. I actually want to do more of this, but it needs more sun is what I'm getting from it. This mum is huge. I'm just going to stake it and tie it together so it doesn't flop over when it has its blooms later this fall. So that's that whole area. Still a lot of spaces to fill in, but it's looking really good. The shade area is definitely something that's really hard for me. So I'm just taking my time and waiting until I find plants that I actually really enjoy. But it's been a challenge. Alrighty, so we're gonna walk out here to the garden. Space is looking amazing. I'm so happy with it. Everything's doing wonderful. There's a couple things that have suffered, but I will get to those. My marjoram has bloomed. It's really, really pretty. I love the blooms on it. I just think they're really soft and subtle. The thyme, I don't think it has. It smells so good. This is English thyme, and then I have chives all the way around the bottom. This marigold, this is one plant. I do not know how it got that big, but it's one plant. It's loving its life, just to help with bugs and stuff like that. I do have these Cherry Falls tomatoes. I've actually ate, I would say 5 or 6 tomatoes off of it. So now they're starting to blush again. Really excited for that. The dill has gone into flower. So that's one Cherry Falls tomato plant right there. Then I have, it's actually kind of nice because I put the lettuce in the second layer and it gets enough shade from all the other plants that the heat doesn't really bother it. So I'm pretty much every day picking fresh lettuce off of here. So that's really exciting. But I see here, I have some bug issue. Oh boy. Pretty sure that's a hornworm. So yeah, we're gonna have to go look for those. I have picked off 5 hornworms from my tomato plants, and I'm gonna need to get a black light because I just want to make sure I got all of them. But this still just looks, it's so like fairy tale looking and so dainty. Just love it. I have a rosemary plant right here, and then a nasturtium flower up here. The carrots are gonna be picked probably this week or next week. I'm gonna get this all cleaned out and ready to plant fall things. The peas are done. We ate a lot of peas, and yeah, I just kind of let them go because we were kind of done with those. The borage bloomed beautifully. Has some little blooms left, but it is pretty much done. I'm not sure. I actually want to do some research if it blooms again, because it was just covered in like these blooms right here. Covered in them. And the bees are just, oh my word, they just love it. My nasturtium is making its, you know, way wherever it needs to go. And then my cucamelon actually has taken off, and it has one little flower. You can see it in there, but it's kind of climbing all up in there. And then I have a dill plant back on the backside there too in this pot. It's a really big pot, so we'll see how everything does. The cucamelon, I'm actually going to get it to climb up here, but I'm going to need to do some string crisscrosses or something so it can climb up that arbor. I'm going to go around this side. So these are straight 8 cucumbers. Oh, we actually have one over here. Might actually pick this one off and eat it right away. Right there. I'm not sure, but these are struggling a little bit. They are climbing really well, but the other side is doing a little bit better in my opinion, but it really has like these yellow edges, so I just really need to look into what's going on there. I'm actually surprised we have any head going on here. These got worms from the little white butterflies that you see flying around in garden spaces, and I just let them go because they had substantial damage on them. I didn't know if I was actually gonna have anything, and it was too late to the point where I was like, if I start spraying it with neem oil or keep them picked off or something like that, if it would actually produce anything. So I just let them go. Like right there, that little butterfly. They lay eggs, and those are the worms that attack brassicas. Kohlrabi as well, like they just ate them up. I'm actually surprised. Right here is a bulb forming, so that's impressive. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get anything else from these, but we'll try again in the fall when I do my fall planting, do the brassicas again, and then really stay on top of keeping them sprayed and stuff like that. These peas are actually keeping, like, still producing. When there's little ones, I will pick those off and eat them, like here when the peas haven't formed yet. Eat those little ones. Crunchy and good. But I just think the heat has really just tortured them. I'm gonna have to actually come out here and stake some more tomatoes today, because I see some of them blew over from a lot of rain and just wind and stuff. This is a purple variety of basil, red Reuben basil. I actually used it in a recipe, strawberry lemonade, and I put basil in it and let it like really seep into that. Really good recipe. These are sun gold cherry tomatoes that need to be staked up again, which actually if I tear the peas out, I might just let it go up that side of the arbor. And here you can see the hornworm damage, but they're on here because I see more leaves right there. See them? I think that's the 7th one that I've picked off. And they can just annihilate plants like crazy. Like, look at that thing. Why? Why? Ugh, they're so gross. So I'm gonna have to get those picked off today. I'm actually gonna pause this and just do that. Alrighty. Viviana's joining me with a crazy, crazy mouth right now. I picked off 3 of them. They were pretty, I know. They were pretty substantial size, so that's really disgusting. So I'm gonna have to get a black light and check at night just to make sure I'm not missing any, because look at what they've done. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, we've got some blushing tomatoes. So this whole side is Roman tomatoes. I have some basil plants in between them just to help with bugs and everything, which they've done really well. I do have ladybugs in the garden that I saw come out of my chamomile plants, so the aphid issue is gone. Yeah, Viviana's eating a banana and she just wanted to say hi to everybody. Yeah, so I need to check these plants for hornworms. Here you can see these are blushing as well. This is another basil variety, and we're gonna switch over to the in-ground area here. In this little square we have muskmelon or cantaloupe, I guess, whichever. And then I have some sunflowers in the back, so I'm gonna let the vines kind of crawl out the back of this garden area. Then in the front here we have celery, we have some sweet corn, and over here we have watermelon and sunflowers as well. Lots of weeds that need to be taken care of. Some more sweet corn. A mammoth sun gold cherry tomato plant that needs to be staked. I know, it does. Needs to be staked up again. It's going everywhere. Here I have green sweet peppers, and then we got some banana peppers, and then over here is like red, yellow, orange sweet peppers. This is a not a pino. It's a jalapeno, but it's not hot. I know. And then over here we have some. So I have these cucumbers climbing up. I'm actually going to use them as pickled cucumbers, like for pickles, the Amish church pickles that I'm used to. The broccoli is forming heads. Everything else got annihilated. This is cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. So I'm just letting them go, and then I'll tear them out for the fall garden. Peas as well are done. Some more carrots that I'll be taking out. And then over here, I have more tomatoes. All right, so this side is Garden Treasure tomatoes. This side is beefsteak tomatoes. And then up front here, we have German chamomile, which I actually picked some flowers off this morning to dry for my first cup of tea from that. It is the first year for that. I'm really thankful for the blooms the first year. This is lavender hyssop. It is a very good pollinator attractor, and I'm also going to dry some leaves for tea, which I've read is really good as well. Some flower pots, and this is a zucchini plant, which I actually took off my first zucchini this morning. Has lots of blooms in there. Everything is doing really well out here. I'm very thankful for this space and just everything I've been able to grow this year. Lots of pretty things. But yeah, so that is our garden tour for July of 2021. Thank you for joining our channel. I really appreciate the support, and we will see you next time. Bye.